Welcome to I Go Travel with Don Barnett. Well, we'll take another look at Panama here. We'll have to go for a walk in the jungle. And then we'll jump in the car and drive toward the middle part of the country and take a look up there. We'll visit some hot springs and I'll show you about a few of the islands on the coast of Panama. So let's go and head for that jungle walk. Panama has several national parks. One is the Chagres, named after the river that is the route of the Panama Canal that we made several travelogues on. The park headquarters here are first class and designed to accommodate tourists. We just had to take a walk in the jungle. Like when we followed those polar bear tracks in that travelogue on Churchill, Manitoba, I suggested also here, ladies first, to my wife. To my surprise, unlike following those polar bear tracks, my wife took the lead. I told her, don't worry, I will be right behind you to see that some wild animal doesn't jump out of the jungle and attack you. I told her those animals will jump out from behind you and attack you. And she again bought into it, and she took the lead, and I stayed at a safe distance behind. We saw these big buzzard-looking birds that didn't seem to be too scared of us. They flew up into the trees and hopped from branch to branch, following us for a ways, and they kept staring down at us. My wife thought they looked angry. I thought they looked hungry. I'm a kind of guy who likes to take my time during a walk. Stop and look at things and take a picture or two. My wife was soon long gone and out of sight. The jungle gets thicker as you go toward the Darien province and South America. The 100-kilometer Darien Gap refers to the only break or gap in a highway from Alaska to the tip of South America. The jungle is just too heavy to build a road here, but some still would like to try. The arguments against the road through the Darien jungle include the environmental damage and deforestation that would be done by chainsaws and bulldozers. Also, it could lead to the spreading of tropical diseases and certainly to an increase, in all likelihood, of the drug and human trafficking that is still, or that is going on to some extent already. There were several strange-looking bugs and beetles of all sorts along the path. I was hoping that my wife didn't step on any of them, because you never know, some of them apparently are poisonous. I did see a little frog, but I was tempted to pick it up. However, I was reminded that some of them are poisonous. I did see a couple of snakes slither off into the bush nearby, but they were small snakes. But there are nevertheless some poisonous ones down in this jungle. My wife is quite nervous around snakes, so I was hoping that she didn't see any of them. And a green lizard, an iguana-type looking reptile, is also down here. Black panthers are deeper in the jungle in the Darien province, but generally not in this area. Just too many people around in the canal area. They are around, however, and people seem to be aware of them. What was that thing? It was the size of a big dog or a goat. It scurried away before I could get a good picture, but it did scare me. I thought about getting back to the park headquarters, but that thing was somewhere back along the side of the trail between me and the headquarters. So I decided I'd better hurry and catch up with my wife somewhere down along the trail. Then we could both get back to the park headquarters together. These howler monkeys are the largest monkeys in the Americas and are throughout this area. The only one I saw was this one that was in a cage. When you listen to their sound, it is not a high pitch howl like a coyote or wolf, but it's more of a deeper, low pitch growling sound. They howl before dawn to announce their location, and then spend the rest of the day snoozing and laying amongst the tree branches. Panama is world-renowned for bird watching. There are more species here than in all of North America. The Darien province alone has over 600 species. Now, some I know, like hummingbirds and parrots, but I'll show you a few more. However, it does not begin to scratch the surface. These buzzard scavenger type birds were all around. They had followed us on the walk in the jungle, and whenever it gets too hot and humid, like all birds, they too will open up their wings like this to let the air get in and around their bodies. Like I said in the introduction, let's take a break here now and drive away from the jungle up into the interior part of the country where it's a little drier and more agriculture oriented. As you drive west from the canal toward Costa Rica, the jungle is less evident, and some areas are dry enough to support farming and livestock raising. Let's just take a second to get our direction straight. When we think of North and South America, we think in terms of north and south. However, in this middle part of the Americas, the landmass turns in an east-west direction for a while. And this east-west direction is Panama. Here are some homes that we drove by. When the Spanish initially came, they settled into this more central and drier region, where it was more open and less jungle. We enjoyed an afternoon soaking in a mineral clay hot springs. The water was heated by an ancient volcano, but Panama has no active volcanoes. In one of the travelogues on building the canal, you might remember we saw where having no volcanoes was a key reason for building the canal in Panama rather than in Nicaragua. They had mud painting pots there, and you could paint colors of a clay mud on your skin, and that was to be good for your skin and also good for your mental health. Here you can see a person on the left there who has painted her face. The mud comes off with a quick wash afterwards. I just had to try it. When in Panama, you have to do what the Panamanians do. I had the horrible thought that maybe this stuff would dry and harden like concrete. Then I'd be wearing a permanent mask. At this idea, my wife suggested I might put it on really thick, especially around my mouth area. She seems to be still smarting from that little walk we took in the jungle I told you about earlier in the travelogue. We had lots of opportunities to buy various souvenirs from local craftsmen. The problem in this global society is that you never know what is really local made and what's imported in from elsewhere. I've seen the same things claiming to be made of silver right from Alaska, or the Vancouver area, or in Mexico. And especially with the cruise ship lines, this merchandise is moved all over the world, all of it claiming to be locally made. But beyond that, it is still nice to try and support the local craftsmen. Say, do you remember that at the beginning of the travelogue, when we took that walk in the jungle, I got scared pretty badly by that rat-looking animal. And I wondered what it was. Well, I did a little research, and I found out what it was. It is called a capybara, and it's the world's largest rodent. It hangs around in water holes. It's got webbed feet, and it eats water plants and its own poop. It doesn't eat people like me, but I didn't know it at the time, and that's what scared me. But it eats its own poop because of the bacteria then gets into its system and helps digest the heavy plant food that it feeds on. So now I can safely say, who on earth is scared of a capybara? Panama's many islands are overshadowed by the canal and the skyscrapers of Panama City. However, the country contains over 1,400 islands along the Pacific and Caribbean coasts. These range from mere rocks sticking out of the water to large islands with resorts and beautiful beaches. We visited the several islands around the Pacific end of the canal at Panama City. These are a few photographs that I took on a couple of the islands that we visited. There's businesses going on there, small shops catering to tourists, and very pleasant and easy living. A lot of expats have settled on some of these islands elsewhere along the coasts. Well, all is well that ends well, I guess. We didn't get eaten, and we saw a little more of Panama. It's a great country with a lot of variety once you get down here. And so until take a look at some of those other travelogues we've made, and we'll see you on down the trail. Hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and we'll have some more fun taking a look at other parts of Panama and some other countries as well. Adios for now, amigo.